Here's my tutorial for making these rustic vegetable crates. I'm going to show you in a few simple steps how you can make these really effective crates from an old Camembert box. The wood from these Camembert boxes is great as it's super thin and has a really fine grain. So you want to start by dismantling the box and removing any staples from the edge. Do be careful as these can be sharp. So once these pieces are separated, take the rim edge of the box and cut this to flatten this piece out. This is going to form the slatted sides and the base slats of your finished crate. Using a steel ruler and a Stanley knife, I cut these into strips approximately 4 to 5 millimeters wide and gently flatten these out between your thumb and forefinger. You'll need 6 pieces for the base of the crate, and these are cut to 55 millimeters in length. Now, using the base of the Camembert box, which is slightly thicker wood, this is cut into strips which are 2 to 3 millimeters wide. These will form the upright supports and the ends and corner posts of the crate. You'll need to cut 4 posts at approximately 12 to 13 millimeters long, and these will form the central posts for the end of your crate. You then need to repeat the same process and cut 4 additional supports which are approximately 15 millimeters long, and these will form the corner posts of your finished crate. From the thinner strip wood that you cut earlier, you need to cut 4 equal pieces which are 4 to 5 millimeters wide, and these are 30 millimeters in length, and these will form the ends of your crate. When fixing these down, I leave a 2 millimeter gap between each of the strips. Now, I use Gorilla Wood glue for most of my woodworking projects, but any wood glue is absolutely fine. Taking a toothpick or cocktail stick, you want to add a tiny dab of glue and position your slightly shorter central posts to the ends of the crate. Now, these can be positioned by eye as long as they are equal distance from both left and right sides. Once these are dry, you can remove the masking tape from one side and repeat the same process by gluing in position the slightly longer corner posts. Once you're happy with the position, set these aside and allow them to dry. Once fully dry, take your fine grit sandpaper and give these a sand on all sides, making sure that the top edges and the side edges are completely flush. It's now time to fix the side strips to the ends of your crate. These strips follow through at the same height with the same 2 millimeter gap between them. I've cut my strips to 55 millimeters, but you can make your crate any dimensions you like. Repeat the same process for the other side of the crate and allow this to dry. So now you've constructed all sides of the crate and this is dry, it's time to add the base strips to your crate. Turn the crate over and add a thin line of glue to all of the edges and the ends of the upright supports. Position your 6 strips at equal distance across the base of the crate. There's no need to measure at this stage, I just go by eye, and any slight imperfections help to make this feel more rustic in its appearance. So that's construction on your crate finished. Like I say, I've gone with a 30 wide by 55 millimeter length crate, but you can create these in any size you like. So once it's completely dry, you can repeat the sanding process and just make sure all edges are flush. At this stage, you can also use your fine grit sandpaper to just round off any edges of the crate, and especially on the upright posts, just to give a slightly more distressed finish. It's now time to add some colour to your finished piece, so I use a range of acrylic paints in brown, grey and black. Starting with a diluted wash of mid-brown, I apply this all over the crate. Once the base coat is dry, it's then time to go in and add a slightly darker tone, and by building up layers of colour, we're creating the illusion of aged wood. I concentrate on the corners and the base of the crate, anywhere that might have received a bit more wear and tear over time. Allow this to fully dry and then once again go back with your fine grit sandpaper and give this another light sand in areas that might receive a bit more wear. So you're trying to reveal the wood beneath and creating that illusion of age once again. I now mix a darker brown-black acrylic wash and apply this to the corners of the crate and the edges of the strips, any areas that would naturally take a bit more wear and tear. To add the detail of nails in the sides of the crate, I use a pin to make a tiny hole, 2 holes per strip, and repeat this process on both of the long sides of the crate. I then dry brush a very pale grey paint mix to any highlighted areas and raised areas, which also helps to bring out the grain of the wood. Using the pin, I dab this in a mix of brown and black acrylic paint and apply this to the already made holes just to highlight the pin or nail detail. So you can see from that colour washing and sanding process, you've really created a convincing, distressed and aged finished piece. Now the last thing I like to do is just repeat that pin detail to add the nails on the underside of the crate. It's not necessary, but it's something I like to do just to finish off this piece. So I made some potatoes to fill these crates from polymer clay. This was a mix of colours to create a beige base, which was then rolled in pastel chalk dust to create the potato skin, and tiny details added with acrylic paint. Well, that's it folks. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and if it's inspired you to get creative, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, Steve Putnam Design, for future updates.